The leading story of the day is that judge in Wisconsin, the one who was, what do you want to call that? I'm trying to find the right words for sneaking.
Yeah, we said Scooby-Dooing. We've said that quite often. Scooby-Dooing.
She was like the villain in Scooby-Doo.
That's true.
Getting them out of those doors.
Yeah, these meddling
finding
kids.
secret doors,
Yeah.
Benny Hill style. Getting them out the back door and you're making sure that these people who, by the way, this person, we've talked about this before, who was snuck out the back door, was charged at that moment for assault.
Domestic assault.
Of a man and a woman. So it wasn't talking about somebody who was in there for great reasons to begin with. And of course, this judge decided, oh no, we see ISIS coming. We got to get rid of these people. We got to hide them. And now, of course, she has been indicted by a grand jury.
The charges that were brought by the federal government in federal court against this judge have now turned into an indictment by a grand jury in the Eastern District of Wisconsin. And the indictment is for 2 counts, one being a violation of 18 U.S.C. Section 1071, concealing a person from arrest. And the second count is in violation of 18 U.S.C. 1505, obstruction of proceedings before departments, agencies, and committees. And it even says, Hannah C. Dugan knowingly concealed EFR, a person whose arrest, a warrant, and process had been issued under provisions of the law of the United States so as to prevent the discovery and arrest of EFR after notice and knowledge of the fact that a warrant and process had been issued for the apprehension of EFR. So the grand jury returned a true bill. She is now indicted. Her first hearing is tomorrow before a federal judge, where she will enter a plea. So this is moving. She is at the mercy of the court now.
She's ready to be done with this, realizing you made probably a pretty big mistake. And by the way, I wanted to clarify, it was not for assault, Will. It was just for 3 counts of battery. So, just to make sure we are clear.
Saying the correct
terms. That this person was charged with 3 counts of battery, including upon a woman. That is what's happening, by the way. But they are so distorted, and I don't even mean just these judges, because of course we have the judges who had people living with him and all of that. I'm just talking about the world where they can't see, especially the American people, they can't see the actions that they're taking. It is that you don't want to say the Trump derangement syndrome because it comes off kind of hacky, but it really is. Because you're not going for your best judgment. You're not even going for the law.
The individual who is in the country illegally, actually had been deported once already, was scheduled to appear before this judge on the charges you talked about in the first segment of the broadcast. They were battery charges, so violent crime against another individual, actually 2 individuals in this case. And the attorney for the individual and the clerk alerted the judge that it appeared that there were members of ICE at the court that day. And that upset the judge. There were reports that she was visibly upset in the charging document. She came out and started to basically get in a heated exchange with the members of ICE. They tried to de-escalate it. She told them that they had to go see the chief judge, which they did. They did nothing to make this worse than it should have been. And she was the one who was visibly upset by them being there. Then when they left to go to see the chief judge to talk it through, the chief judge confirmed, yes, you have a warrant, which you had shown to the judge. You're allowed to be here. Just don't go into a courtroom and make an arrest. Wait till the proceedings are over and you're good to go. During that time, the judge looked around, tried to see if any other agents were there, missed one who was in plain clothes because they didn't come in body armor and things of that nature. They actually do these arrests at courthouses many times because they know it lowers the risk to the public and to the officers and to the individual being arrested because they have to go through security. They know they won't be armed.
It's a full process.
It's actually a much safer place to make an arrest like this. Well, she then goes in, pulls the attorney for the illegal immigrant aside, and instructs the illegal immigrant to sit in the jury box. They discuss and then escort him through the jury chambers through court chambers, non-public areas, and then the ICE agent that saw this take place notices they pop out a different door on the other side of the elevators, and then they pursue the individual, making the arrest shortly thereafter. But the victims of the crime were there for that hearing, and they were confused. The prosecutor was confused. What happened to the client? And they were told that matter has been dismissed for the day. We will return to it at another time. The entire charade that was put on was to help protect someone that was before her court on charges.
Right.
So, one, she's supposed to be an impartial arbiter of the law. She's already showing partiality in this case because she's helping the person escape.
She's going to be charged soon. Was it tomorrow?
She will have her first hearing. She's been indicted. She was already charged, has gone to a grand jury, and has now been indicted on these charges, Bill, and she'll enter a plea tomorrow.
It sounds like something from a mafia movie. It sounds like something where the corruption is so loud you can't even, doesn't even feel real. It doesn't feel real that a judge would sneak someone who is there for assault out the back door. It doesn't even make any sense other than they've believed some sort of lie that anything this administration does is evil. Therefore, let's help people who are being charged with assaulting women. Multiple counts of battery. But because they may get thrown out of the country because they're not here legally, it doesn't matter if they are beating women. Let's get them out the back door. And of course, they were caught immediately, and then this judge charged this judge now up for her first hearing. I mean, again, like you said, it sounds like something out of a movie. It sounds so extreme that it can't be real. And what I'm hoping is that it's being taken care of so quickly, this does stop any, I guess you'd say, copycat judges from doing this again.
The judge probably thought, obviously not putting any thoughts in her head or words in her mouth, but that the actions, the way that this went down, as is alleged in the charging document, is that she probably felt like she was the good guy. She was the hero.
Absolutely.
Here's the problem. The people on the left will try to make her the hero still. She may serve jail time if convicted. It can be. She may not, because she is a judge and maybe they have a more lenient sentence. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I can see a book coming out about this that is gobbled up by the left because, this is the game plan for how to stand up. What are they standing up to? Not against President Trump, against the rule of law.
If it was getting the person out there who had been assaulted, I think you have a different story. You have a different heartstring pull. But that's not what happened. I'm not saying that's right either. I'm just saying at least you could see a clearer path to some sort of morality in this. What you saw here was just the typical President Trump and the Trump administration doing something I don't like, and they're doing everything they do I don't like. Therefore, the answer is to violate whatever they're doing.